we've got a list here of the 10 best video game sequels. That's what I was trying to get to. So I will point out that this is not a definitive list. It's what we think are the best sequels. Braden, Floppy, and I have each chosen 3 games each, which we think are definitive video game sequels. And then I went into our Discord and asked the fine people there what they thought was the best video game sequel of all time. And that'll be our number 1 that we have right at the end. But if you want to know what that is, you're just going to have to stick around. So I will kick it off, excuse me, with one of the best video game sequels to ever come out. It is, of course, say it with me now, Metal Gear Solid 2. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm a Metal Gear Solid fanatic. I've written a little couple of sentences here which confirm why I think it's the best game ever. It wasn't perfect when it came out. Many were angry that Snake was swapped out for Raiden, and he didn't really play as Snake a lot. But it was a bigger, more ambitious, and far more ominous in tone. It seemed like the stakes were a lot higher, despite this scene of everyone sleeping.
Really weird footage to go with for that statement.
It would also mark the first Metal Gear Solid game to move fully into more wild narrative territory, which I think is a bit of an understatement, and which would become a staple of the series from that point on. So it was the first time you got some of those really, really wacky storylines, and you think, what do you got? What do you mean? What are you doing? What is this about? Who's that? Revolver? What now? Who's Raiden? Anyway, yeah. Floppy, you've played this game a lot.
Yeah, look, I actually really liked the whole playing as Raiden part.
Yeah? Did you like playing as Raiden nude?
I loved playing as Raiden nude.
Did you like playing as Raiden nude doing cartwheels?
Yeah, so you know what I did to get into the character while I played Raiden nude?
You did nude cartwheels?
I was nude.
Sweet.
And I liked having, Snake on the old codex as well. That was cool.
You like Snake on the old codex?
Yeah, I like Snake on the old codex.
Snake Eater?
What was the name of the boss? That was the had the
Solidus.
grenades and rollerblades.
Not Solidus.
That was weird and cool.
They're all weird and
They're
cool.
all weird and cool. The Vamp.
Do you know who the coolest is? Vamps. I hate Vamp.
Why do you hate Vamp?
Because he's lame. I'm a vampire. Not really. It's nanobites.
What are you like? What are you, Hotel Transylvania vampire?
That's what a Dracula sounds like.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, no, I agree. This is as much as I love Metal Gear Solid and it being my favorite game of all time. This is a great sequel.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. We still need to get David Hayter to do a Metal Gear cameo.
Yeah, we really need to support us on Patreon if you want a David Hayter cameo.
Raiden, where do you think you're going? Snake's Australian now.
G'day, mate.
You played this game, Brad?
I remember playing this a little bit back when I just would just randomly pick up anything from Blockbuster.
Yep.
And I played through it a bit, and I was like, okay, yep, and just never finished it. In classic rent things from Blockbuster fashion. But then way later on, when we were doing Hack the Dino, and Dan showed me that video. He showed us that video essay.
Yep.
That explains the ending and discusses
how it's
the repercussions of that back then, as well as.
Sorry, we're just watching a video of Raiden getting peed on.
Yeah, it's classic.
I'd forgotten about that.
And it discusses how Kojima basically predicted the current state of the world in 2016, 2017.
Yep.
Yeah, scary stuff. And I commend it incredibly for that. That's an incredible feat and shows an incredible use of storytelling.
Kojima's mind.
That's
Kojima.
But yeah, I never finished it. So, but everything about it sounds amazing.
Floppy.
Yes.
What's your first sequel?
My first pick. So these aren't in any order of what I think is better than the other ones. These are just 3 that I picked. Mm-hmm. The first one I went with was Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil.
I don't think you can do it like that.
Okay.
So
we can see here footage of Resident Evil 2?
Yeah. So look, Resident Evil 1, phenomenal, groundbreaking. Resident Evil 2, what have you done? Resident Evil 2 came out and it just took everything that Resident Evil 1 did, amped it up, and added more. It improved pretty much all the aspects of the game. The motion videos, the writing, the incredibly bad voice acting from the first one was improved upon. Not huge amounts, but improved upon. the scope of the game was heaps bigger. So you're not only just confined to like the labs and this house. You've gone all through Raccoon City, the police station, the underground labs, sewers, everything. It was just huge. To top it all off, you played 2 campaigns. Well, you could play 4 campaigns because you can play, as Leon or as God, what is her name? Going right out of my head now. Claire, thank you. Depending on which one you do first, and you can play them again in the opposite order and get the whole story. Like, you don't actually get the whole story unless you play, I think it was supposed to be Claire's first, then Leon second, then Claire again, then Leon, or something like that. What have you done to him? It's really freaky. But yeah, oh my God. So Benny Hill has apparently attacked Resident Evil 2.
What are you talking about? This is actual footage of Resident Evil 2.
I knew you'd do something.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Nemesis, what a cool bad
People
guy.
should really head over to youtube.com/Hack The Dino and check out the video I found to show Resident Evil 2. It's great.
But
so much fun.
Resident Evil 2 took everything good about Resident Evil 1 and made it even better.
Brayden, what's your first pick?
My first pick is so I went about this list again going through only as like sequels, and I've now clicked on this video and it's also amazing.
What?
And I was like, okay, what are some things that like really
What have you done?
I absolutely loved when they first came out? And Arkham City is my first pick of this. Batman Arkham City on the PS3, Xbox 360, PC.
Sorry. For our podcast listeners, Floppy just tried to raise the roof. Just letting you know.
Floppy did not try. Floppy succeeded in raising the roof.
You might want to talk to your landlord.
Yeah.
Batman Arkham City was amazing. It expanded on everything they did in Arkham Asylum incredibly well and brought it into this amazing open world that they did rather than the sort of like different areas that they did in Arkham Asylum because, it's an asylum, there's a lot of hallways. So bringing it into this open world, they had to change a couple different things.
It's a wild allegation, Brayden.
And it worked really well. How? Oh, Jesus. But yeah, and just the sheer scope of it, they brought even more little characters in from deep cut Batman lore to hide away in little Easter eggs and everything. You could play as Catwoman in certain scenes. And one of my favorite things about the Batman games is they always keep adding, like you can just put on different skins of different costumes from different Batman stories and eras and comics and stuff. And I believe they had the animated series, and he would have like a big like block head and block chin and everything. Yeah. It's great. I loved it. But yeah, everything they did in this series through 1 and 2 and Origins, I loved.
I agree. This was fantastic. I'm right there with you. Best one out of the 3 main Batman games.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think I still have the little collector's edition, little statue and art book.
Was that the black and white one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have it too.
Yeah. I absolutely love this game, and I can't remember if I ever 100% completed it because it's so absurdly big, but I think I did get all the Riddler things.
Riddler trophies, man, and the challenges.
Yeah, the challenges are the hardest part. But yeah, it's great fun. 100%. Really good game. Really good sequel.
Cool. So the next sequel that I've chosen is, again, this isn't in any particular order. However, the final one that we talk about is voted by everyone as the best sequel of all time, but this didn't make the cut. I'm talking, of course, about the sequel to Pokemon Red and Blue, Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Gold. Now, this game added much more to it built on the, let's face it, bare bones of Red and Blue, and introduced for the first time more Pokemon, more areas on the map, more fighting styles, more eggs or egg movements, or eggs as a general, and introduced shinies to the world of Pokemon. So I don't know how many of you guys played this.
Played this particular?
Yeah, the game that's on screen now. That's Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver.
There was a dude that just shat blood before.
Yeah, it's Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Silver.
Pokemon?
So yeah, see, he just ripped off his penis. What
the fuck is this? For those of you on the audio, there is what appears to be hand-drawn cartoon. There is people shitting blood.
Have you ever played Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Gold?
I played Soul Silver.
Yeah, exactly. So you haven't played the original. So, that's why it was a remake.
I feel like you may be taking the piss.
What? No. So, Pokemon Silver. Good game. Good game.
What the fuck was that?
Floppy? What's the next best game sequel?
Oh, I'm scared to find out now. So my next pick, which I'm pretty sure is
This
probably
is
going to be
why you don't let Ben choose the videos.
this. All right, noted. My next pick's probably going to be on most people's list. I think if they were to come up with like best sequels, it was Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh,
So first Assassin's Creed was great. Oh my god, you've got glitch videos, haven't you? For those of you listening as well, Ben has chosen a glitch video with Ezio just floating along water, Jesus style. Assassin's Creed 2. So way more in-depth story. So you're actually character development in this is so many years above what Altair's was in Assassin's Creed 1.
it seems to be an ongoing
Theme.
that the sequels, or the good sequels at least, build so brilliantly on the bones of the predecessor. And
Absolutely.
the sequels are usually a better game because it gives them an opportunity to see what works, what doesn't, and make everything a lot tighter, as well as introduce some things that maybe they didn't have the power or the technology or the budget to introduce in the
Or
first
even
game.
the idea of, you do an idea, you see how people play it, then you expand on that. So with this one, the character development with Ezio, going from this really sort of rapscallion young egotistical kid to, the prophetic leader of the assassins was phenomenal. It was great. The story in the first one was really cool too, but it was just Altair, who was already a master assassin, regaining his sort of position. And that was cool, but it didn't have anywhere near the drive and the story that this one did. Not to mention all the stuff that they introduced, like smoke bombs, poison blades, your wrist gun, even the color palette was so much cooler than the first one. First one was very lots of shades of beige and grey. This thing you had flowers. You're in like Venice and Rome. Was it Rome?
Sure.
Rome. There was a number of different cities in Europe you go to, and it just looks prettier. It's so much nicer. You could rebuild and upgrade a city, which was your hometown, and then you could use those shops that are in that city if you upgraded them to be able to get better deals on, say, equipment and fabrics and things like that to upgrade yourself. What the hell is going on with this video, man?
No, Assassin's Creed 2 is legitimately like amazing. I absolutely loved Assassin's Creed 2. The addition of like the dual blade,
Yep,
like
dual
on
blade.
either side and everything. As you're saying, the whole like the vista that you would do up and everything.
Montenegro.
Yeah,
I can't
something.
remember now.
But yeah, Mario as well as your
Yeah.
Uncle Mario.
Yeah, Uncle Mario, and then finding his sort of like his cave, his basement of
The
Assassin's
deep
basement,
cut assassin stuff.
where you could unlock Altair's armor. That was really awesome.
But yeah, 100%. It was absolutely excellent game, and they just kept iterating on Assassin's Creed. I really was not a fan of the first one. I found it incredibly repetitive and quite boring. But this one was just so fascinating. The world and the story were actually super interesting. The characters likable.
I think this one set the bar for all other Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah, 100%.
And the only character so far that's had more than one game. So Ezio appears in 3 games.
He was certainly their poster boy for a good long time there.
I would argue still is. Like, I don't think there's been another one.
The movie with Michael Fassbender, did he play Ezio?
No. He played it was a separate character.
Oh, okay.
Not based on any of the games ones.
So
I didn't hate the movie. A lot of people ragged on it.
So Desmond wasn't in it either?
No.
Nah, they couldn't afford Nolan North
Oh, well, that makes sense. He's
because they spent all their money on Michael
Michael
Fassbender.
Fassbender, yeah.
Brayden, speaking of spending money, what do you like to spend money on in the realm of sequels?
If spending money on Marvel property was a sport, I'd be an Olympic champion.
I think it is.
Great.
Congratulations,
I'll go
ladies
to-
and gentlemen, Brayden Dixon.
I'm off to Tokyo, guys.
Can't wait to see this video.
No, seriously, if you support us on Patreon, we'll go to Tokyo. Spider-Man 2. Not only is it an incredible film tie-in game that also just expanded upon way more than what the film did.
And let's face it, is the very, like, the skeleton of what the Insomniac game is.
Yes, 100%. Because everyone who played this went, this is how you do a Spider-Man game.
Yep.
Every little moment that they have is great. The open world is amazing. They nailed the swinging for the time.
I really enjoyed the Vaseline they put over the screen so you can't see it.
Dude, man, I remember I would play this just for so many hours, and I played so much of it. It's
I would
ridiculous.
argue that apart from this one, no one else really nailed the swinging mechanic except for the new Spider-Mans.
Yep, agreed.
100%.
And they didn't shy away from the fact that you could just swing into midair, like shoot into midair and just go up.
Yeah, you play Spider-Man 1 before this, and you're in like a tiny little map zone area, and when you're outside, you're swinging, and you are just swinging from the sky.
Yep.
And it's terrible. And then you go to this, and not only do you have Bruce Campbell doing the tutorial for
I was about to bring that up.
each
I was about to
game.
say the best part of this game is Bruce Campbell doing the tutorial.
It's
Now, did he
so
not
good.
rock up in a few of them?
Yeah, he's in all of them.
He's in every Sam Raimi film.
No, I meant in the games.
Yeah, so he does the tutorial in every single game.
In every single one. Yeah.
And he always starts them by being like, oh, back again, are we? Okay, here we go. And then, like, I think in the Spider-Man 2 one, he, like, starts, like, eating a sandwich in the middle of it.
Yep.
Because he just doesn't care.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Bruce Campbell is amazing.
But yeah, and they not only did they do the storyline from the film, which was incredible, they then also just added in all these other Spider-Man villains and all these side stories. You get Black Cat, Mysterio, like Scorpion, Electro,
I love Mysterio.
Shocker, Rhino.
Do you know what else is really, really cool? The fact that Alfred Molina had just came out and said, oh, yeah, Marvel told me not to say anything, but I'm Doc Ock in the new film.
And it's the same one.
Yeah, it's Sam Raimi's Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they told me not to say anything, but
Really?
I'm Alfred Molina, so...
Yeah, Alfred Molina just straight up
Really?
went, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like,
Oh,
oh,
I missed that.
okay, cool. That squashes some rumors
Yeah.
of that exact thing happening.
So it's basically going to be interdimensional Spider-Verse / Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking. Because I heard rumors that perhaps good old Normie's coming back, which made me be very happy
Which
as well.
Normie?
There's only been one.
So legit, like, we're actually having...
Willem Dafoe.
James Franco.
That's what I said.
James Franco.
Well, he's...
Dane DeHaan.
No, none of those inferior goblins.
What's your last pick, Ben?
My last pick... It's not my last pick, is it? Oh, it is my last pick. How about that? So my last pick is a game that I think is one of the best video games of all time. I'm talking, of course, about Super Mario Bros. 3 on the Nintendo Entertainment System. This game introduced new power-ups, a new map, new secrets. It was a tighter, better game and is still to be eclipsed by any other 2D Mario adventure.
Did this game not have the coolest way of being revealed to the public?
You mean the wizard?
Yes!
Yeah, well, just keep your power glove off her, right?
That was so cool.
I haven't watched The Wizard since like 1987.
I watched it
1988.
last year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is it as horrible as I remember it being?
No.
I just remember-
it's dated,
was
but it's
at-
not that bad.
I was at the friend's house whom I was first introduced to Super Mario Brothers, and I remember watching The Wizard with him because that's when I became obsessed.
Yeah.
And the fact that that was how they revealed where the first warp whistle was, I still remember jumping up and screaming at the top of my lungs, "Oh my God!" And then we basically spent the whole night trying to get the trick so we could get up and get the first warp whistle. Whistle?
Whistle?
Whistle.
But yeah, no,
said
I watched
it how
it.
it's spelled.
I watched it last year. It's bad because it's 80s. It's just bad, but it was not.
It's Fred Savage.
It was not super bad. It was actually kind of cool. I
Yeah.
watched it with my kids.
Anyway, the game's fantastic. And this level, there's a cheat here. You can just swim underneath the ships. Oh yeah, they're about to do it.
Didn't know you could do that.
Didn't you? Well, there you go. You can
I
skip
like
the
how
whole
you didn't
level.
get a rubbish video for this.
Well, no, because it's a great game. What's your last pick there, Floppy?
My last pick is one that I've seen people have been talking about in the chat, actually. So you'll be happy to know, guys.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
2.
2. Secret of the Ooze.
Nope. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Deuce.
Tony Hawk does a poo.
Everyone knows Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games. Everyone knows how good all of them are, but none of them really improve.
how good these
oh
are.
my gosh, this is going to be bad. None of them sort of made the jump between the previous one and the current one like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 did. Number 3, number 4, all cool, but nowhere near the jump. This
Certainly are a bunch of cool dudes.
Oh man! So improved graphics, bigger levels,
Bigger brain
better
injuries.
music, but the coolest thing they did, they brought in manuals. So if you're not a skater, manual is when you're oh my god, riding along either on the front 2 wheels or the back 2 wheels, and it allowed you to combo for like essentially, if you were good enough, the whole level. You could just switch between every. Oh. We
Yeah,
had to watch-
manuals did completely change the game entirely.
manuals changed the game entirely. It was amazing.
It's an incredible example of actually iterating on your gameplay mechanics to up the level of expertise that you can get in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it does an amazing job. And they then went on to do it later with reverts as
With
well.
reverts as well, so you could do it on vert.
Yeah,
as well.
but like just for that, you can watch people who just combo forever.
Like
I could watch these people combo forever.
For our audio listeners, Ben has attached a video of nothing but skateboarding fails, and they're epic. They are I can feel that on my coccyx.
Yeah, it's real
This
pleasant.
is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt.
It's real pleasant viewing material. He broke his coccyx in that clip.
Yeah,
clearly.
this guy's gonna. Nut. Was that a sack tap?
That was. God
He's
damn.
never having children.
But yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is amazing.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2,
And iterated on the first one perfectly.
Yeah.
Excellent example of a good sequel.
Grandma broke her coccyx.
All right, Braden. Enough of this watching people severely injure themselves. What is your pick?
My pick, to the shock of no one, if you've been watching the show for a little while, you know exactly what I'm bringing here.
I just want to point out we've got honourable mentions after this, and Braden didn't choose any of the honourable mentions. Instead, he chose this. So,
You
Braden?
bet. Because this is a personal choice, motherfucker. So,
It's
legitimately...
such a personal choice.
Legitimately, this is one of my favorite games of all time. When I realized we could put not just the number 2s in a franchise on this, I put the biggest number 2, and it's a number 3 of Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank is amazing.
How are you not the poster boy for Ratchet?
I watched
know,
some
right?
of this, and like the jokes are just so. Like, I even think my 13-year-old daughter would groan at them.
Yeah. Oh, dude, so...
I'd probably love them then.
So these are a lot of clips from 1 and 2 as well. That's from 3 in that ship. It's great. But yeah, everything they expanded on for number 3 was amazing. They not only did they fix up a bunch of mechanics that I absolutely hated from some of the first 2 games, like only having 4 hits until you die, which is very old school, of course, but they iterated on that so you could actually just learn to upgrade yourself and end up becoming absolute beast mode, but the game actually, gets harder with you, so it actually works better. Every single level in it is awesome, great fun. The expansion of the story and the world is just bonkers and stupid. All the humor slaps to the point where it doesn't land at all. And it had one of the best villains of it, which was Dr. Nefarious, and he's amazing. Yeah, Ratchet & Clank 3, up your arsenal. Go check it out on the PS3 store before it shuts down.
And here's some honourable mentions. Those games, not quite up to the level of Ratchet and Clank 3, but
You're starting off with
nevertheless, I feel like we should sort of mention them.
a real shit one.
So we're going to start off with Half-Life 2,
Yeah, it's good, but it's no Ratchet and Clank 3.
Marvel vs. Capcom, of course, a sequel from X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat 2, which was...
9?
And 9, and 10, and 11.
No.
I like it.
Not with Mortal Kombat 2. Not the jump between Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2. That was huge.
Fair shout.
Donkey Kong Country 2, which was the better of the Donkey Kong Country games. Fight me. Mario 64. Majora's Mask, which was is better than Ocarina of Time. Fight me. Mass Effect 2. Persona 4 and Persona 5. Portal 2. And Days Gone 2. Oh. I'm so sorry.
You guys didn't buy enough full-price games.
God damn it.
There's one we didn't think to mention in the honourable mentions.
What's that?
Uncharted 2.
Uncharted 2 as well. Uncharted 2 is it's one of the best Uncharted games.
Brilliant. It is the best Uncharted.
So, what, pray tell, is our number 1 game sequel of all time? Again, this is not just our personal choices. We went into our Discord, which you can join over at bit.ly/HackTheDino. Hack the Dino has all capital letters, so make sure you do that.
I'm going to assume it's Lemmings too.
And I asked our lovely Discordians what they think the best sequel was. And they, of course, came back, and this is honestly, I'm being honest, I'm not being a tricky trickster.
He is being honest. I did check this out too.
Street Fighter 2, and that's something I completely agree with. Now,
Ben, I don't know what joke video you got for this, but they got banned.
oh, wow. Oh, dear. All it was Street Fighter 2 Rainbow Edition, which had like all the super hyper realistic movements.
Oh. Oh well.
That's
Was
awkward.
it? Yeah, okay.
Anyway, Street Fighter 2.
Weird.
Street Fighter 2, it's such an impressive game that I can guarantee out of the three of us in this room, only one of us has played Street Fighter 1.
Correct. I've only played Street Fighter 2.
Floppy? You're Floppy.
Yes,
Braden?
I am.
100% have not played Street Fighter 1.
I bet in the chat, maybe one other person has played Street Fighter 1. Street Fighter 1 was just like, it was the very first beat 'em up, fighting versus game released. It originally came out on a arcade machine that had punching pads instead of buttons, and light, medium, or heavy punches and kicks determined by how hard you hit it. Of course, a lot of them broke very, very quickly, so that's when they put the 6-button system in.
Weird.
Yeah, there's only a couple left in Japan, I think, of those. The game, you were either playing Ken or you were playing Ryu. Sagat was the final boss. And in a stroke of brilliance, they carried that storyline over to Street Fighter 2, introduced more fighters other than Ken and Ryu, who of course remained there. And then this game took the whole world by storm. Like, honestly, if you were a teenager in 98, 99, or even, I was much younger than a teenager.
That.
Yeah, I remember as a 12, 13-year-old, I was obsessed with this game. Obsessed with it. And this is before the internet, so you didn't have movesets coming out. You had to just sit there at the arcade and try all these combinations to try and work out what the special moves were.
You'd get them in magazines.
Well, yeah, you had to buy magazines.
So, can I tell you how I experienced this game?
Yeah.
So, we didn't have a gaming console. So, it must have been the early 90s. I'm going to go with 92 maybe.
Yep.
My dad had a PC, so I played games on a PC. He had Street Fighter 2 on the PC. And I used to play multiplayer with my best friend at the time, and you'd had to one of you used the cursor keys and like a space bar and a control or something like that. The other one used the WASD. So you had 4 hands on the keyboard trying to play a versus match on Street Fighter. It was ridiculously hard, and we played so much of it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I had it as well. It was ridiculously hard. This is Street Fighter 2 for the PC.
That's it.
So for all you young kids at home,
Jesus, that's huge.
On a floppy disk.
here's the floppy disks.
5
Christ.
1/4.
Oh my
There
god.
we are. And there was 4 of them, and you had to change them
My god.
while playing the game. So you'd load one game up, and you'd play maybe a level or two, and then you'd have to take it out and put in another one.
Which now sounds ridiculous.
And do you want to make a guess on how much one of these discs held?
Oh, surely it was like 12 meg.
40 kilobytes.
3.5 meg.
Oh, okay.
3.5 meg on each of these bad boys.
That's nothing. I spit and make more than 3.5
That's
meg.
That's not even a save file.
God
I
damn.
know. Isn't that... There's also that image of... there's a GIF... not a GIF, a JPEG of Super Mario World 1. And the meme is... the original Super Mario Brothers was 24K. This image is 35K. So there you go. That's an old PC game of the good old Street Fighter 2. My
really?
Street Fighter 2 memory, I've talked about it on the show before, but I'll talk about it again because I love it.
Do you like Street Fighter?
Oh, just a little bit.
A little bit.
We had a skating rink, an indoor skating rink where you used to go to rollerblade. And I used to go there for Sunday morning lock-in sessions where your parents would drop you off and like they'd lock the doors and you could skate as much as you want for 3 hours. They also had an arcade with a red LAI machine with Street Fighter 2 on it. So I used to go there, get my skates on. Oh, you can see it. Braden's showing my Street Fighter arcade machine now. And I would just sit on the Street Fighter machine the whole 3 hours, just playing. And I said to myself, one day I'm going to have one of these. And that is what that machine there is.
Did you wear your skates while you were playing it?
Yeah, because I wasn't tall enough to actually see the screen. That was the whole appeal, is so I could have the skates to boost me up so I could play in it.
That's awesome.
And I also remember we were playing Street Fighter 2 at an arcade one time when I was in my teens, and some tough youths came in and challenged me, and I wiped the floor with them.
Because you knew karate?
No, because I was good at Street Fighter.
Because you knew up.
Oh, I
down,
thought you
up,
meant
down.
you literally beat them up.
No. That was later in my years. Yeah, so I was,
You
when I
beat
was
up
like
little kids when you were older?
16.
Still
No,
at the skate rink.
these were the tough, cool kids. They were a couple of years older than us.
And as we've all seen with Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, that's perfectly okay.
It is. You're allowed to knock out your friends. So I ended up just beating him to the point where one of my friends came over because they were getting so frustrated they kept losing. He said, just let them win so we can go. So, all right. So I threw the match because I was worried that we were going to get beaten up.
I don't believe you threw a match.
I did. That's before I did karate.